How's everybody doing? Positive and productive, I hope. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. Do me a favor, share the content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it? So, ladies and gentlemen, a part of the reason why I want to do this one, most segments in general, but especially this one is that I want to be able to provide the information that I know to be true, that is true, the fact of the matter. And I'm not saying that I'm the arbiter of right and wrong and that I have all the facts and nobody else does, but I think a lot of times in today's society is that we place veracity on the ability of us believing it or not. And what I mean by that is that if I don't believe it, then therefore I'm already going to tell you that it's not true. I'm not going to seek the information. I'm going to defend it to be not true and maybe start making assertions as to how and why it's not true, opposed to actually verifying the information. So maybe you're already reading some of this, maybe you're not. You're probably just watching on an audio version. Maybe you're seeing this on YouTube or a Rumble or something to that effect. So if you're not reading along with us, right now what it has is just a simple Google search. And the question that I posed to my Google, and it's just a simple Google AI overview. And I asked, in California, can a 12-year-old stop their parent from accessing doctor records and or being in the room with doctors? And according to, you can't see this, but you have to take my word for it for those who can't see it. But it says in California, a 12-year-old can legally stop parents from accessing their doctor records or being in the examination room, but only for specific sensitive medical services. The minor is authorized to seek on their own. Here are specific details of how this works. Sensitive care policy. Under California law, youth 12 and older can consent to independent medical care for sensitive issues without parental permission. This includes mental health treatment, substance use treatment, birth control, and sexually transmitted infection testing. For for these specific visits and related records, doctors are legally bound by patient confidentiality and cannot disclose information to parents. This is what's going on in California. Let's keep reading. The exam room. A 12-year-old can ask the doctor to see them privately, and the medical provider is permitted to speak with the minor confidentially without a parent present to ensure they can discuss sensitive subjects openly. General medical records. For routine, non sensitive health issues like a broken bone or routine physical, parents generally retain the right to access their child's medical records and can be present in a room. Parent portals. Many California healthcare systems, such as UCLA Health and Lifelong Medical Care, automatically adjust parental access on online patient portals when a child turns 12 to protect confidential services. If you are preparing for a doctor, okay. So now what I did was, and maybe that sounds crazy to you, maybe it doesn't sound crazy to you. I think to a lot of people in today's society, uh, honestly, I don't know what demographic I want to look at that, but I think a lot of people don't know or don't realize that my 12-year-old can tell the doctor they don't want me in the room and have a conversation with the doctor. I don't think a lot of people realize that that is a true fact of reality right now. And I don't think a lot of people even agree to that. I don't think a lot of people agree to their 12-year-old daughter or son being able to have a conversation with their doctor about their health or something, and they're not privy to have access. But it gets a little interesting, so I kind of want to keep going. But I'm just telling you my general, and maybe I'm wrong. If you don't see a reason why or how this is, why don't you go ahead and drop a comment and tell me why you don't think that this is a bad thing? Explain it to me. Maybe I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. So the next question I provided was, who made this law and or how did this happen? These privacy rights did not come from a single law. Instead, they are the result of the California state legislator passing a series of targeted bills over several decades. The primary goal of these laws was public safety. Lawmakers realized that if teenagers had to get parental permission for highly sensitive issues, many would simply avoid seeking a doctor entirely, leading to untreated diseases or unchecked crises. Number one, infectious disease and sexual health, 1950 through 70. The logic: decades ago, the legislator recognized that public health would suffer if minors had contagious diseases out of fear of getting in trouble with their parents. The laws: California passed statutes now found in California Family Code Section 6926, allowing minors 12 and older to independently consent to the diagnosis and treatment of sexually transmitted infections. Privacy rules automatically followed. If a minor has the legal right to consent to treatment, they also control the privacy of those specific records. Expanding to medical health, 2010. The logic: lawmakers found that youth in crises often avoided seeking therapy if they had to seek their parents first, particularly in abusive homes or situations involving intense family shame. The law: in 2010, the legislature passed Senate Bill 543, which was signed into law by then Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. It allowed minors 12 and older to consent to outpatient mental health counseling if a professional deemed them mature enough to participate. 3. Vaccine and prevention expansion, 2011. The logic: while the old laws covered treating STIs, they did not cover preventing them. The legislator passed Assembly Bill 499, AB 499, signed by Governor Jerry Brown. This expanded the age 12 rule to let minors consent to preventative care like the HPV and hepatitis B vaccines. 4. Modern medical billing and protocols, 2021. The logic: even though minors had privacy rights, health insurance companies would still send paper bills, explanation of benefits, to the parent's house, accidentally revealing the private doctor's visits. The law: the legislator passed Assembly Bill 1184, AB 1184, in 2021. It required insurance companies to send sensitive medical billing information directly to the patient, even a minor, rather than the policyholder, the parent. This law is what forced modern hospital portals to begin blocking parental access to parts of a 12-year-old's account. If you would like to know more. So, I don't know. And I want to go back to the 1971 because, well, they didn't tell me when this became law. So they said 1950s to 70 and then family laws, and then they quoted it. So this is what we're going to do because I want to understand this. I just want to understand a little bit more. Maybe, you guys don't do it, but I'm going to do it. And that's why you're here with me because I do it and you don't, right? So let's look at this. No, I want to look at this to understand it. So California Family Code 6924 allows minors 12 years and older to independently consent to medical care for the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, and specific reportable communicable diseases. Crucially, parents or guardians are legally absolved from paying for these medical services. Details of this section include scope of care. This covers testing, treatment, and preventative care, including the hepatitis B vaccine, HPV vaccine, and medications to prevent HIV, PEP, and PrEP. I don't even know what none of that shit is. I don't know what PEP or PrEP is. Consent to confidentiality. Because the minor is legally allowed to consent, medical providers are prohibited from sharing the minor's medical information with a parent or legal guardian without the minor's explicit signed authorization. Financial liability. The minor's parent or legal guardians are not liable for the cost of any medical care provided under this section. So, I mean, I can say, well, at least it's a good thing that the parents don't have to pay for it, right? I can say that's a good thing. I went to my Merrill Edge and I didn't want to go there. So, at least the parents don't have to pay for it. But here's the thing, why is it are they giving the onus on a 12-year-old to say that I want to be able to consent to doctors for treatment without my parents? And why are children having certain, instances where, whether it be mental health, communicable diseases, or various things, and they cannot talk to their parent about these things? Because, so let's take the mental health out of it, right? Let's take the mental health out of it, because this is what I see as a parent. I see, if my 12-year-old son, let's just say, got herpes or got gonorrhea or syphilis or something like that, well, then that would let me know he's having unprotected sex. Same thing with my daughter. And now, if they got medication that covered it up and cured it, or is suppressing it, or whatever the situation may be, I, as the parent, don't know about it. So now, does that stop them? Or maybe let's enforce some rules and regulations to prevent that behavior, which got you the STI or the STD or whatever happened in the first place. Because maybe the doctor does tell you to wear condoms and to not do it, but maybe a parent grounds you, takes your phone, and does certain things that maybe take you out of the instances where you found it okay to be able to have unprotected sex. Yes, I could tell you to wear a condom, but then here's the thing. This is what I don't understand, right? Why would a medical professional tell a child to use condoms and or give children medication for STDs and STIs when we know, as a result of that, a child just engaged in a felonious act? And you know what? I don't know if it's a felony. I don't let's see, in California. I don't know. I do believe it's a misdemeanor. I know it is illegal, but let's see this. It's a felony for a minor, for minors to have sex in California. See, they're giving me all kind of stupid shit that I don't want. Is it a felony for minors to have sex in California? So let's just read this. Let's read what we got right here. Is consensual sex between minors a crime in California? There is no such thing as consensual sex under the age of 18 in California. The law does not identify minors as capable or granting another individual consent to engage in sexual activities. Depending on the ages of the people involved, the offense could be charged as a felonious sex crime. So technically, you could be. So I'm trying to look for exactly what I'm looking for, because they're talking about adults and different things. I just want to know with children, with children. So I guess let's go back to AI. Let's ask this. If a 15-year-old has sex with a 17-year-old in California, is that a felony? See, it's not giving me. If the alleged victim is 16 or 17 years old and more than 3 years younger, okay, so I'd actually have to look at it, but let's just ask this. Can minors legally have sex in California? So it's not giving me the answers that I want. I want to talk about all kind of stupid shit. So let's not go to AI. Let's just go bam like this. I said, can minors legally have sex in California? What is the age of consent? That we know that. So this means that anyone under the age of 18 is considered a minor and cannot legally consent to sexual activity. So we know they can't do it. What I want to know is this is what I want to, I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find out if it's a felony or not for a person 14. I know I said 15, 17, but if a person is 14 and a person is 15 or 17, is that a felony? I know it's illegal. I do know it's illegal, but I want to know, is it felonious? Because that's what I said. But here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. Here's the whether it's felonious or not. If a 12-year-old has a fucking sexually transmitted disease, we know they are engaging in illegal behaviors and or activities. So why is not the doctor telling the authorities in the law that this child is doing illegal shit? Not only is this child doing illegal shit, they don't want their parents to know that they doing illegal shit. See, that's where I think the problem comes to me at, is that on one hand, they're phrasing it as they're saving children and helping kids. And I could see how that could possibly be a thing. I'm not denying that nothing is all of something or one thing. I could see how, it could be beneficial. I could see if, maybe you do come from an abusive family and, your parents don't want to take you to the doctor for the mental health side, not for the sex side. Or what happens if, let's just say, for instance, you're a victim of sexual assault or something like that. There's somebody who's older than you, and maybe they're manipulating you to do something you don't want to do. And you're telling your parents and they don't believe you. And now they get upset with you because you got syphilis or gonorrhea and they're just beating you, or, I could understand in those aspects. So I could get that. But in those cases, we generally already remove the kids from abusive families and households and situations. So I don't understand. I'm near some equipment and some machinery, so you guys might get some background noise, and you guys probably won't. It won't pick it up. Maybe it does. I don't know. But if it does pick up the background noise, just understand I'm recording this near some machinery and different things, so we just got to deal with it. But I wanted to do this video because I was having this conversation on Twitter. We're actually having several conversations on X. And one of the conversations was about 12-year-olds having the consent to not, having the ability to not have their parental consent on these topics. And this is what we were talking about. And a lot of people didn't believe me. They argued me down. And we went down this memory hole, and it was, rabbit hole. And it was, oh my God, well, how do we get here? I don't understand. And this and this and this. And then it went from, not you were right and I don't understand it, but well, y'all let it happen. So that's what y'all wanted to do because y'all voted for it. And it's like, no, we didn't vote for this. It's like, so first you told me it wasn't a thing. Now that it is a thing, you're telling me how and why it's a thing. Like, so let me get this straight. There's a dog outside biting people in the booty when you walk by. Ain't no dog out there biting people in the booty. Now you walk and you get your glutes bit. And then you're going to say, well, the only reason why he bit you was because you were jogging. Hold on. You told me it wasn't no dog biting me. Now you're telling me the only reason why he did it was because I was jogging. You see how that doesn't, and maybe you are right. I'm not saying you're wrong inherently, but I'm saying, can you agree to and admit to the fact that you told me the dog wasn't there? Because maybe if we would have known that there was a dog, and I said noon, I know, but trust me, just walk with me, right? So maybe if had we known that there was a dog there, we wouldn't have been jogging or running or doing certain things that could have actually, exacerbated the problem, right? So maybe had we had known that somebody in the legislature was proposing this or bringing this to the Senate or whatever the case may be, maybe we wouldn't have voted for that person. Maybe not. Maybe we wouldn't have endorsed this company. Maybe not. I don't know. But what I am saying is you can't tell me it's not a thing. Then when it is a thing, you're telling me why it's a thing. That's crazy to me. To me, that's crazy. And another part, another thing, right, which we were having a conversation on, and I know it's kind of like totally off this topic, but again, it's about information. And one of the things we also alluded to when we were talking about was the JCPOA, which was the deal that Obama made with Iran. And people were like, well, Obama already made a deal with Iran and we had a good deal and it was working. And here come Trump's and he messes it up. Well, I guess it depends on what perspective you look at that from. Did we have a deal with Iran? Yes, we did. Was it a good deal? I guess it depends on who you ask. In my opinion, it wasn't a good deal. Why wasn't it a good deal? Because the general consensus has always been that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. And most of the general consensus, and I'm not going to say the overwhelming general consensus, but most of the general consensus also is they don't even need nuclear energy because they are going to develop it for a nuclear weapon. And if they're not going to develop it for a nuclear weapon, here are the safeguards and the preclusions that we can put in there. Well, none of that existed in the JCPOA because the JCPOA actually gave Iran a clear path not only to nuclear energy, but potentially nuclear weapons. And it had sunset clauses. So they potentially had the ability to get nuclear weapons because it allowed them to pursue nuclear energy. But the sunset clauses that would stop government oversight from the United Nations, the United USA, and also NATO and Greenpeace, World Peace, all of those people, the sunset provision, we couldn't go in there after a certain amount of time to see what they were doing or are not doing anymore. That's where the potentiality for them to be able to develop a nuclear arsenal was there, because we know if you got nuclear, all you got to do is keep refining it. For nuclear energy, let's just say I got to make it 7 times pure for nuclear energy, and we can do some good nuclear energy. For a nuclear bomb, let's just say I got to make it 30 times pure. That, like, I know I'm really oversimplifying it, but realistically, in a very oversimplified way, that's all you're doing. You're taking the raw material and you're just refining it even further, and that's when you would use it for bombs and shit. When you super refine it. So, and people said no, the JCPOA didn't have this and it didn't have that and it didn't, and it's like, see, we don't know what's actually happening. So now we're just looking at headlines and see, this is, matter of fact, I want to pull something up for you guys. I want to pull something up. I'm going to give you guys one other instance of this happening, right? Where we argue with people, like, for instance, nobody should have an AR-15. Nobody needs a high capacity magazine. We shouldn't have these weapons of war on the street. It's so funny. We call AR-15s weapons of war when no military has been issued AR-15s. Well, here's the funny thing. Some militaries have been issued AR-15s, but no government or no military has taken AR-15s into battle or combat. That hasn't happened. Why would you take a semi-automatic fucking assault weapon, and that doesn't make it an assault weapon, but why would you take a high calibered in today's society semi-automatic? That's stupid. Nobody would do that. Oh no, when it was developed, that's why it's called AR, because it stands for assault rifle. No, it stands for Armalite, but neither here nor there, right? But here's the thing about that. Do you know that there was an assault weapons ban that had a sunset clause in it? This is the reason why you see so much of them today, was because they made a rule that said, hey, we're going to ban them and limit them and restrict them for 20 years. And now, after 20 years, if we can't see a direct correlation between gun deaths, people being shot, and that type of stuff, then we have to release the ban, because it's not the assault weapons that are doing it. And that's what happened. That's why the sunset clause worked, Because had they concluded that assault weapons, AR-15s, AKs, and high capacity magazines, had they contributed that attributed to the majority of gun deaths and gun crimes, they would have kept the ban in place. That was written into the law. But that's not what happened because it didn't happen. And I'm going to tell you why this is a thing. I'm going to tell you why and how this is a thing. I seen something amazing on X. Let's see if we can get to it. I believe I bookmarked it, but I don't know. So let's see. Here we go. Home. It's going slow. Bookmarks. Bookmarks. This guy right here. Let's listen to this.
Last week it was announced that
it's like a 4-minute listen, right? But what do you guys got better to do right now? What are you doing better right now than listening to me? You know what? It's funny because I asked you, what could you be doing better right now than just listening to me? I actually know what you could be doing better right now than just listening to me. You could be sharing my content with friends, family, and anybody that you think the content is relevant to. That's what you honestly could be doing. But no, let's listen to this really quickly, right? Because this is how we got here, and then we can go ahead and like explain a little bit of it. But let's just listen to what he says, and let's just listen.
President of the United States would have a press conference on Thursday night at 9 p.m., and he was going to reveal something very, very important. I got that information like everybody else in the country did, and I said, another press conference, the president? Wonder what he's got this time, because you never know with this particular president. But he said it was something important, and I thought, well, I might as well watch it. Might as well tune in to see what it is on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So I, like probably many other folks, decided to sit down, pull up a chair, and wait and see what he had to talk about. One thing happened that I wasn't prepared for. ABC, NBC, and CBS all said, we're not going to run it because, the president lies. And because of that, we just don't think that you need to see it. Except one interesting thing happened. After the event took place,
and just really quickly, because I know I heard a lot of you guys said it too loud in your mind. Some of you guys even said it audibly loud. Yes, I'm listening to you on your device, so stop listening to me. That's why you need to share the content, right? But no, when he said, because ABC and CBS and these people said that Donald Trump lies, a lot of y'all said, yeah, because he does and he did and this and this. Well, here's the funny thing. Why did Donald Trump win against ABC, NBC, and its affiliates and George Stephanopoulos for lying? Why did he sue them and he win them? Because they lied on him. Why is that the actual? Okay, keep going.
So it was roughly a 25-minute press conference. It was a presidential address.
One more. I'm sorry. Because remember what he just said a few moments ago? He said, the president said, I'm going to talk to the nation and I got something that's very important, right? And he said, I thought like most people, let me see what the hell he got to say. It's crazy. Whether you believe it or not, crazy guy. We don't even know what he's talking about. Whether you love him or hate him, he said it's important. I'm going to tune in and watch. And now you know what happened? Somebody else, whether it was important, it's not important. How do I know? Because somebody else told me I'm not going to show it to you, so you don't know if it was or wasn't important. And now I'm going to tell you what was said. Let's keep listening.
If you will, 25 minutes. The networks who didn't carry it went on and basically talked about the event and said, there was nothing more than falsehoods or things to that issue. So they don't air it, and then they go on and tear it down. Well, that got me to thinking even more. What the heck is going on here? You see, the 1934 Communications Act runs everything in broadcasting. Now, you may say, well, it was back in 1934. Nothing really matters today because that was then and this is now. Well, the 1934 Communications Act is still in force, and it requires broadcasting to be in the public interest, convenience, and necessity. Those three items. Presidential news conference, was that in the public interest, convenience, and necessity? And yet the networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, chose to not run it because they apparently are the arbitrator of what is in the public interest. All right, They could say, no, it had to do with the 2020 election that Trump lost, and we don't want to talk about it. We're not rehashing it. That's basically what this was about, apparently. So you could argue and say, well, it probably is old news. Nobody really cares. It doesn't mean anything. That was the past. Well, two investigative reporters who I look on highly, one is Catherine Herridge, CBS, and a whole bunch of other networks. She's one of the best reporters out there, investigative reporters. Then another gentleman named John Solomon, also investigative reporters. Reviewed the information that came out that was released. Turns out the FBI, back a long time ago in 2020, withheld information, the daily press briefing. And they held that from the president to know what was going on. That there was tampering of the elections, and the Chinese have been involved with some bad stuff for a number of years. And our systems, our voting systems, were easily hackable. We found out. And Catherine Harris and John Solomon found out the stuff the president was talking about was true, was legitimate, but it came.
And just really quickly, right? Because here's the thing. Donald Trump is saying, well, the Democrats are cheating in our elections and this and this and this. And everybody is saying, no, you lost fair and square. They don't lose. You're just a sore loser, blah, 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 blah. But if we go back to 2020, when Hillary was saying Russia, 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 everybody was saying Donald Trump and Russia was interfering with our elections and that they hacked and rigged our elections. So which one is it? How come when y'all said or they said the elections was rigged and all of this, everybody believed it? It was a witch hunt. We did all of this stuff. We changed voting polls and the ballots and fucking all of this shit. But then when Donald Trump is saying it now, we don't want to believe that now. Which one is it? I don't know. I'm just saying it has to be some. When you all said it, there was there. But now he's not saying it. No, there.
Came from our FBI. Changed the presidential brief so the president didn't know what was going on. Going back to the press conference, ABC, NBC, and CBS did not allow it to be aired for the public to see. They felt they're the arbitrator of what the public should know about. That, my friends, is dangerous. Because that's up to the public to decide what they like, what they believe, what they don't believe. But it's not up for networks to say, we're going to tell you what to believe. See, that's done in certain countries that, well, are not free countries. But that's the problem. When we have networks in this world, in this nation, sitting there saying, we know what's best for you to see and what's best for you to not see, they're violating the Communications Law of 1934 in public interest, convenience, and necessity. Those who say, well, they were right to do that, that's your opinion. But my opinion is they violated the law. Just my opinion. What happens from that, I can't tell you. But it was the most despicable thing I've seen in broadcasting, and I've been broadcasting for a very long time, to have networks censor someone because they don't like what they say, and yet we find out from investigative reporters what he was saying was correct. Maybe the networks don't want people to know what other people knew because it would make them look bad because of who they were backing. Something to think about. And now you know.
And that's something to think about, right? And I'm glad he said it. So one of the last things he said was is that they're violating the law, and that's why I'm bringing this back to where when your doctor allows your 12-year-old who says I got a sexually transmitted disease to get treatment for that, your doctor is allowing the child to break the law, knowing that this child is breaking the law and wants to absolve the parent from having any type of responsibility for this person's bad behaviors, for criminal behaviors, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. And you have people, and maybe, like he said, maybe your opinion, you think that they should do it. Maybe you think that they should. But the law states children, minors, cannot engage in sexual activity. So now, why would I be incentivizing this? Why would I be doing it? And also, if somebody is saying something that's important, or if somebody has something to say, why do I tell you don't listen to it? Oh, don't listen to him. He's just lying. Oh, don't listen to him. He's just crazy. Oh, don't listen to him. He don't know what he's talking about. Then why do you tell me don't listen to him? How come I can't listen to him and make the determination myself that he's crazy, that he don't know what he's talking about, that he's whatever you've came to the conclusion? Because apparently you heard what he said and that's how you came to your conclusion. So why can't I hear what he say and come to my own conclusion? Why can't I do that? I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't want you to hear it for two main reasons. Number one, they want to control what you think and believe. That's number one. And number two, they want to hide the things that they believe in and that they're supporting. These are the primary reasons. They want to manipulate and control what you know and what you believe in. And then they also want to hide and shield and censor the things that they believe in and the things that they're supporting and what they do. That's the whole basis of all of this, ladies and gentlemen. So, right now, one of the most giant headlines right now is that the FBI and the DOJ is investigating Gavin Newsom's wife. But you know what the media is going to tell you? You know what the information, how it gets regurgitated is that Donald Trump's Department of Justice is launching a political attack, and he's going against Gavin because he know Gavin can win, and he know Gavin is the only opponent, and he knows this and he knows that. You know, you're telling me why the dog bit me, but you didn't even tell me that the dog was there. But now you know why the fucking dog bit me. But now, if I tell y'all, do y'all know that his wife and her companies were being investigated under the Biden administration? Do y'all know that? See, this is the stuff I be trying to tell y'all and explain to y'all. Oh, choose to show us. Show us. Oh, you always say. I show y'all everything. I'm tired of showing y'all and y'all not sharing it. Y'all got to share this shit. Share the content with friends, family, and anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Because too many times we're having these conversations. I remember when I told y'all, listen here, apartment buildings, schools, and hospitals are closing down. They closed down a public elementary school, ladies and gentlemen, so they could house illegal immigrants and migrants. You know what y'all told me when I first told y'all this? There was no crisis at the southern border. There wasn't a whole bunch of people coming in here. Ain't nobody getting food stamps and government cards. A whole bunch of y'all told me it wasn't happening. Then when it started happening and there was no denying it, you know what you did? You told me why it was happening. Oh well, Tren de Agua is in their country, and you got to understand they're fighting oppression, and their government is bad, and they don't want to. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. And see, this brings up so many different questions. I mean, and here comes nuanced stuff. And I don't like to split hairs, but you know what? Hey, somebody had to split the atom, right? So here's the point, because how come somebody we can even talk about illegal immigrants who born their children here, and we can get into the whole 14th Amendment birthright citizenship. We'll talk about all that in a minute. And but why is it that somebody who wasn't born here will then have children here, and their children will then say, oh, I'm Haitian, I'm Mexican, I'm whatever the fuck. And ain't nothing wrong with being your peoples and what you are, but here's the thing, you're not that. You're not that. Your parents are, but your parents don't even want to be there. So why would you tell me you're a Haitian or a Mexican or an El Salvadorian or a Bolivian or whatever the fuck you want to be, but yet you're proud to be your people, but yet you're not proud enough to be in your homeland? To me, that's weird. That's just very strange. You're proud to be who you are, but not proud to be where you're from. I don't like, no, I don't get it. Oh, you're racist, and that's just what the white people say. No, that's what people with common sense say, because I'm an American. I'm proud to be an American. I am never leaving here. I'm never leaving here. I will fight and die for here, for what I believe in here. That's what I will do. I'm not never leaving here because I'm proud of this. I'm not proud of everything that happens here, but I'm proud of this. So I will fight and die here. I don't understand why people don't share that same sentiment. But yet you can be, and now think about this, a kid from a kid who's born in America from Mexican parents, Haitian parents, whatever type of parents, you'll tell me you're Mexican. Nigga, what? So do you got citizenship in Mexico? No, but so how are you telling me you're a citizen of another country that you don't even belong to? But you do it under the guise of all the rights that only Americans are afforded. Like, oh my God, it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. But this is how and why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. This is how and why we're here. Because now, when I told you that it was the Biden administration who was probing um uh Gavin Newsom's wife, you're gonna tell me no, that's not the truth. It's Donald Trump. It's political assassination. It's this blah blah blah. You got all the shit you say. Then when we prove it, it comes out a few months later in the news. We realize what happens. Then you tell me why it's happening. Oh, well, no. See, the only reason why Biden was doing it was because the people she was working for, they knew that they were into some bad stuff, not her, right? But see, they knew that. So now you know why it happened. But when I first said it was happening, you said it wasn't happening. But now you know why it's happening. No, that really rubs me the wrong way. That really does. That really rubs me the wrong way. I promise you, I get so upset with people because I'm telling y'all certain things are happening. You're telling me it's not happening. And now I'm like, okay, so now what do we do about this? Oh, well, it's only happening because of this. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. So now that this is happening, now let's talk about this because now this also is happening. Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's happening though. It's like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God. I can't. As Americans, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. And I'm not saying somebody told me the other day, oh, you say Donald Trump can do no wrong. Like, then why do we got to get so hyperbolic? We're talking about what we're talking about and what's been presented to us on the media. That's what we're talking about. Why do we got to it's like when you talk with your girlfriend, right? And you're telling her the 3 or 4 things she's doing that are wrong. And then oh, I don't do nothing right. Everything I do is just all bad. And I can never do nothing. And is that what I said? Or am I talking about the 3 fucking things I'm talking about? Why are you saying every fucking thing and I'm talking about the 3 goddamn things? It makes me angry because this is why people never fix what they're talking about. Because now I'm talking about this, and instead of fixing that, you want to talk about everything that I'm not talking about. So now I'm saying, hey, guess what? And you know what? I had a woman the other day even admit something to me. She said, hey, you know what, Chusta, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff Donald Trump does, but what he's doing with the school systems and the public school systems, because hey, I know that the school systems are crazy as hell, and him giving us the authority or the ability to have choice provided to us, and like that does wonders for us, and I'm benefiting from it, and so forth and so on. And I say, see, here's the thing. I said, see, now I said, I'm glad you said that because see, here is the thing, right? Just because he did what he did doesn't mean it's a blanket statement and it unilaterally just makes everybody life better or affects everybody good. It can be a good thing if you understand it for what it is and know how to apply it for yourself. It can be beneficial. But there are so many different things that could be beneficial, would be beneficial if we understand them for what they are and utilize them to capitalize. Why are people not capitalizing in a capitalist society? We live in a capitalist society, but now somebody wants me to think capitalism is wrong and bad. I got one more for you guys that I want to share. I don't know if I bookmarked this one. I think I did. I think I did. Yeah, this guy right here. Listen to this.
Who gave him the free guy who hates American veterans. You gave him the freedom to say what you're saying.
No one gave
right
me
now.
freedom. My parents are the only people that made sacrifice. No vet has made any sacrifice. I want to make that clear.
What?
I do not support the U.S. military. No, I do not support the United States. I look down on both entities. I want to make that clear.
You know, how do you feel about veterans?
I don't support veterans.
What?
The only vets
This dude is running for, I think, the Senate or Congress, something in Texas, right? And he just said, I don't support the military, nor do I support the U.S. government. If you don't support the military or the government, why are you trying to work for the damn government? Make that make sense. And that's what's wrong with a lot of these dumbass immigrants who come over here. Oh, America is so bad and I hate America, and you're a dictatorship and you're a capitalist and it's so bad and I hate America. Why are you here? Explain that to me. Explain it. Make that make sense. Oh, because you love what America has to offer. So let me get this straight. You're going to tell me, you know, I hate your mama. I don't like your mama. She always talking shit and she fat and she stank and she loud and she be hitting me upside her head, upside my head all the time. But I'm gonna come over your house because she cooking that chicken that I love. Nigga, what? Let me get this straight. Because according to you, you ain't your country ain't doing half of the shit America's doing, but yet you ran from your country for the little bit of the problems it got. But America is so fucking bad, but you running here to come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on. What are we doing? What's really going on here? Up is down, down is up, left is right, and right is left. We are literally and really living in the clown world, ladies and gentlemen. Where when we know it's illegal for children to have sex, doctors will tell the parents, you can't be in the room so I could talk to your kid about having the illegal sex that they ain't supposed to have. That's the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Because I had somebody say, Chusta, I like watching your content, but why are you always so angry, Chusta? Your content's good. It's funny. You have a lot of good points, but why are you so mad when you say it? This doesn't anger you? Are you telling me that this doesn't anger you, ladies and gentlemen? I really don't get it. You know what? I'm about to eat my lunch. I got some stuff I need to do, but I had to share this to you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure I tell you guys, drop a purple heart in the comment section on Facebook. Let's open up some conversations. We're about to really get back to it. Space Jews in the building. Y'all know what it is. Please stay positive and productive. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it?